Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shadvaita Gadadhar Shivasri Gaura. It's complicated, huh? Okay, I think we can do it. Ooh, you win the award for one of the worst mridungas. This one needs serious help.
The other one is the 501. That's what I need.
Hare Krishna. Let's see. Now, fiberglass. Good. Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Janabal Lava Girivara Dari Janabal Lava Girivara Dari Gopijana Vallabha Girivara Dari Nandana Vajajana Ranjana Shuddhanandana Vajajana Ranjana Jashoda Nandana Vajajana Ranjana Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dari Gopi Jana Vallabha Nandana Raja Janaranjana Nandana Raja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Raja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Puri Bhrajak Acharya Ashtotara Sitashi Srimad His Divine Grace Ubhai Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Puri Bhrajak Acharya Ashtotara Sitashi Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrindi Ki Jai ISKCON BBT founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sikaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shadvaita Gadadhar Shivashari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kundu Radha Kundu Giri Govardhani Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Shri Maya Purnavati Dham Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Shamaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Thai Go Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotee. All glories to the assembled devotee. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Shamini Tinamini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Visesa Sanjivari Paschati Rasthani Dashatarine Om Namo Bhagavate Bhāshyadevaya Namo Bhagavate Om Namo Bhagavate Bhāshyadevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Bhāshyadevaya Namo Bhagavate Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangolangayate Giring Akrapa Tamaham Bande Siguru Dinatarinam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhave Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Shamini Tinamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Visesh Chatir Satanine. So, we are on the first canto, 18th chapter. Text 3. Utsrija Sarvataha Sangam Vigyathajita Samstitihi Vyāsa Jahau Shisho Ganghayam Sang Kalevalam Utsrija Sarvata Sangam Vigyata Jita Samstitihi Vyāsa Jaho Shishya Gangayam Sam Kalevaram Utsrija Sarvata Sangam Vigyata jita samstitihi Vyāsa ke jaho shishyo Gungayam sakalevaram
Utsrijya sarvatah sangam Vigyata jita samstitihi Vyāsa ke jaho shishyo Gangayam swam kalevaram
Utsrijya sarvata sangam Vigyata vijita samstiti Vaya sakir jaha shishyo Gangayam swam kalevaram
Ladies? Kalevaram. One more brave lady. Utsrija sarvata sangam Vigyata samstitihi Utsrija, after leaving aside, sarvataha, all around, sangam, association, vigyata, being understood, ajita, one who is never conquered, the personality of Godhead, samstitihi, actual position, Vyāsa, unto the son of Vyāsa, Jahal, gave up, Shishya, as a disciple, Gangayam, on the banks of the Ganges. Not Ganges, Ganges. In Sanskrit, it's not it's ah. It's not Prabhupada, it's Prabhupada. It's not Ganges, it's Ganges. We'll try that one again. Gangayam, on the bank of the Ganges. Swam, his own. Kalevaram, material body. Translation. Furthermore, after leaving all his associates, the king surrendered himself as a disciple to the son of Vyāsa, Śukadeva Gosvāmī, and thus he was able to understand the actual position of the personality of Godhead. Purport. The word ajita is significant here. The personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is known as ajita, or unconquerable, and he is so in every respect. No one can know his actual position. He is unconquerable by knowledge also. We have all heard about his Dhamma, or place, eternal Goloka Vrindavan, but there are many scholars who interpret this abode in different ways. But by the grace of a spiritual master like Śukadeva Gosvāmī, unto whom the king gave himself up as a most humble disciple, one is able to understand the actual position of the Lord, his eternal abode, and his transcendental paraphernalia in that Dhamma or abode. Knowing the transcendental position of the Lord and the transcendental method by which one one can approach that transcendental Dhamma, the king was confident about his ultimate destination. And by knowing this, he could leave aside everything material, even his own body, without any difficulty of attachment. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated, Param Drishva Nivartate. One can give up all connection with material attachment when one is able to see the Param, or the superior quality of things. From Bhagavad Gita, we understand the quality of the Lord's energy. We understand the quality of the Lord's energy that is superior to the material quality of energy. Can I edit that sentence? I'm going to edit it. From Bhagavad Gita, we understand the quality of the Lord's energy is superior to the material quality of energy. And by the grace of a bona fide spiritual master like Śukadeva Gosvāmī, it is quite possible to know everything of the superior energy of the Lord, by which the Lord manifests His eternal name, quality, pastimes, paraphernalia, and variegatedness. Yeah, this is an old version. Maybe it's been edited since then. 1987, 1993. From Bhagavad Gita, we understand the quality of the Lord's energy is superior to the material quality of energy. And by the grace of a bona fide spiritual master, like Śukadeva Gosvāmī, it is quite possible to know everything of the superior energy of the Lord, by which the Lord manifests His eternal name, quality, pastimes, paraphernalia, quality, pastimes, paraphernalia, and variegatedness. Unless one thoroughly understands this superior or eternal energy of the Lord, it is not possible to leave the material energy. However, one may theoretically speculate on the true nature of the absolute truth. By the grace of Lord Krishna, Maharaj Parikshit was able to receive the mercy of such a personality as Śukadeva Gosvāmī, and thus he was able to know the actual position of the unconquerable Lord. It is very difficult to find the Lord from the Vedic literatures, but it is very easy to know Him by the mercy of a liberated devotee like Śukadeva Gosvāmī. So, two things are basically being discussed in the purport. And the main thing that's discussed in the verse is that Maharaj Parikshit met Śukadeva Gosvāmī and became his disciple. And then, by becoming his disciple, he could understand Krishna. And in the purport, Prabhupada says, otherwise, you can't understand. Because Krishna is Krishna, and He's transcendental. And we are not transcendental, and therefore we need someone who is transcendental, who can explain the transcendental nature of Krishna. Otherwise, it's not possible. So, the other point that's being made here is that if you understand something, but you don't live it or practice it or get a taste for it, then your understanding is insufficient to give you the strength to follow what you understand. And actually, I was listening to a lecture this morning by Prabhupada, and he said the same thing. He said, by faith you understand, but unless you do bhajana kriya, practice, you won't be able to follow through on what you understand. We all have that experience. Okay, you understand, you should do A, B, and C. Do you do A, B, and C? Maybe, maybe not. Understanding is only part of it. But when, so this is exactly what Prabhupada said. He said, if we don't do devotional service, we'll tend to commit sin, even though we know the sin is wrong. And so then he said, it's not just knowing, you have to chant. You have to chant Hare Krishna. And in this case, Prabhupada said you have to chant 16 rounds. You have to be able to chant, and then you have the strength to act on what you know. But just knowing doesn't mean you'll have the strength to do it. And the chanting will give you the strength. Right? So he said, therefore, faith means, okay, I believe this. But bhajana kriya, acting on it, is necessary to come to anartha nivritti, to overcome. Otherwise, you just know this is wrong. And then you might do it because habit, conditioning. Right? Yes? So knowing it's part of the equation. But knowing, in a sense, we could call knowing as jnana yoga. I know this is wrong. And so by the power of my wisdom, I try to detach. Not by the power of Guru's mercy necessarily, or the power of taste. So in this verse, Prabhupada's talking about the power of the Guru's mercy and the power of experience of a higher taste as what pushes us. And so you get that through seva, and particularly in this lecture, Prabhupada said you get it through chanting. So now you know, then you chant, now you have the power to do what you know. Otherwise, you just know it. And you sit there and tell yourself, oh, I should do that. But you don't. That's the aruha krachena parampadam tata. The yogis go up and they come down. The Mayavadis go up and they come down. Why? Because they know, on the strength of knowing, they detach, but it's not enough. I mean, look at the world today. People are smoking. Does it say on your package, cigarette package, that smoking will kill you? Or something similar? Yeah, so that's proof right there. It says it right on the package. That's not enough. It stops some people, but you know, going to the hospital with lung cancer will stop more people from smoking than the package, right? This cigarette will give you lung cancer, but when you get it, then there's a stronger impetus to stop smoking. That's the nature of knowledge, and that's why knowledge alone is insufficient without practice, without taste. Knowledge is the beginning because it gives you some detachment and some discrimination. So now I know when I leave I should go left, I shouldn't go right. That's knowledge. But if it looks better right, if the cherry trees are down the street right, even though God says don't eat from the tree, still it looks good, you might go, even though you have knowledge. So Prabhupada was saying in this lecture, the power is going to come through the holy name. And without that, the knowledge will be insufficient. I think people in Kali Yuga have two disadvantages. One big disadvantage is, even though we're saying knowledge must be coupled with practice, they don't even have the knowledge to get the original detachment. Because the knowledge kind of breaks you from the chains so that you can act. Or at least you know what to do. And a lot of times we see people on a spiritual path and they're not that evolved. And we might think, well, we're more evolved. But it's not that we're better. It may be that we know more, or it may be that we have more mercy, but they're the same as we are. We're just in a better situation because we have the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, and that makes a huge difference. We have knowledge from Prabhupada, and we get his mercy by executing what he tells us to do. Otherwise, we're like everyone else, maybe worse. Because sometimes you see people, they're on a spiritual path, and they don't have a guru, or their guru is not giving them complete knowledge. And they may be doing something, some tapasya, and they may have some good qualities. So that says a lot. Even without a bona fide guru, they're doing something, but they can't come to the position we come to. It's not possible. So we should see how the mercy is so powerful. And so Prabhupada's talking about that also in the purport, the power of mercy. So you look at Parikshit Maharaj, you look at how much mercy he got by hearing from Śukadeva Gosvāmī. He got so much mercy, he wasn't even hungry or tired for 7 days. That's amazing. And he got so much mercy, and he had so much mercy that when he was cursed, he just accepted it and he detached. And we have to, understand the context. We're, thousands of years away from this in a different culture, so sometimes we don't see things contextually. He was a king. You know what a king meant at that time? The whole world, not one country. Okay, so now put it in that context. What does that mean to detach if you're a king of the whole world? That's like a big thing, isn't it? We can hardly detach because we have a car and a house. And that's like too much to detach from, right? Oh, Prabhu, you're 87 years old. Why don't you, move to Vrindavan and give... I can't give up my house. It's too nice. But you could die tomorrow. Yeah, I know, but it's so nice here. And Vrindavan is dirty and it gets hot, and I can't really do it. So we can't even do that. And now Parikshit Maharaj is giving up the whole world. He's in charge of the whole world. That's pretty big, right? And what does the Shastra say? Shastra says, he gave it up as easily as you give up stool in a toilet and flush it down the toilet. You see, Sri who? Gaurang. Nitai Gaurang. Nitai Gaurang. Gaur Nitai. Sri Gaur Nitai ki jai. So he had no attachment at all to anything. And how does that happen? Only by mercy of Guru. It can't happen any other way. So we should look at this story and think, well, this is very encouraging, that someone who was king of the whole world was able to give it up like someone passes stool and just flushes it down the toilet, like no big deal. That's the power of Guru Kripa. And that Kripa from Guru, from Sadhu, is essential. I was just listening to a lecture the other day. Well, actually it was this morning. Prasada leshano grihita evahi. It said, if you just get a drop of mercy, just prasada lesha anugrahita evahi, you get a little drop, then you can understand Krishna. You don't need a lot of mercy, but the mercy is so powerful. It's just amazing. And so, for us, we have to, and in this lecture, and Prabhupada was just saying, you can't be Krishna conscious without mercy. You can't understand Krishna without mercy. It's like you can't do anything without mercy. And the mercy comes through pleasing the Guru, following the Guru, pleasing Prabhupada, following Prabhupada, serving the Vaishnavas, pleasing them, taking shelter of the holy name, executing sadhana properly, reading Prabhupada's books. All these things give mercy, and that mercy moves us to Krishna, not because of our strength, but because of the power of the mercy. And our connection is that we simply have to do what will give us the mercy. That's what we do. And then the mercy does everything else. It's not that we can understand Krishna, or we can love Krishna, or we can detach, or we can do anything. As we were just saying, even you understand something, you can't do it. But once you get the mercy, then, like Parikshit Maharaj, oh, that was Bharat Maharaj who gave up everything. But Parikshit Maharaj, like Parikshit Maharaj, giving up everything. In the universe, in the whole world, he had control of the whole world, he gave it up. No problem. That's the power of mercy. It's just like, I was listening to one of my godbrothers speaking, and he was describing how he became a devotee. And he was saying, actually, I have no idea how I was able to extricate myself from the material world. I mean, we're talking about people who are young men who moved into the temple and became brahmacharis and gave up everything. And as he was saying, I don't know how I did it, I was thinking, yes, I don't know how I did it either. Because from a certain perspective, a young man raised in the West, leaving everything and becoming a brahmachari, it doesn't make sense. It's basically achintya. It's inconceivable that it would happen. And Prabhupada didn't even know when he came if it would happen. So how did it happen? Even the devotee doesn't even understand. How did I do this? I gave up everything. How did I do this? None of my friends became devotees. Gave up my girlfriend, gave up my education, gave up my guitar, gave up my car, gave up my favorite sweater, gave up my everything, and I move in the temple. And now I'm sleeping on the floor. And getting up at 4 o'clock and taking a cold shower. They don't even have hot water in the temple. How did I do that? And 3 weeks later, you're in the van going on the road, and I'm on the street 12 hours a day selling books. How did that happen? How could I do that? And be happy doing it. That's kripa. That's mercy. So the point is, on our own, we couldn't do that. And that's why when we look back at it, we say, I don't know how I did it, because in fact, we didn't do it. The mercy of Guru, Prabhupada's mercy did it. But we were willing. That's the point. We were willing. So we just have to be willing, not resistant to surrender. Can I surrender? Do I have the power to surrender? No. And am I willing to surrender? Yes. If I'm willing to surrender, then Prabhupada will pick me. My Guru will pick me. The Sangha Vaishnavas will pick me. The power of Bhagavatam will pick me up. The holy name will pick me up. And I just have to hear Bhagavatam. I have to associate. I have to chant. I have to worship the deity. I have to come to the temple. All those things will do it. That's kripa, not me. I just have to get myself in that situation so it will do it, right? Just like if it's hot, just stand in front of the fan. You'll cool off and spray yourself with water. That's all you have to do. You can't make the weather go down, but at least you can stand in front of a fan and spray your face. That you can do. So it's something like that. And so it looks, sometimes it may look that by my effort, I'm making advancement. But it's Krishna reciprocating with our effort. Our effort is very small. Chanting 16 rounds, hearing Bhagavatam, these things, Prabhupada used to say, these are very simple things, and they produce amazing result. The result they're producing is not what we can create. We can only do the chanting, we can only do the hearing, the deity worship, the preaching, and so forth. But the result that it's creating is infinitely greater than what we're putting into it. That's how mercy works, right? So you chant 16 rounds every day, you follow 4 regular principles, you try to sincerely serve, and what happens? You become Krishna conscious. By the mercy of what? The process, not by your great strength. I mean, we try, and then Krishna sees, oh, this poor boy, this poor girl is trying, so, okay, let me give some mercy. They're trying. Pretty much our effort is useless. If there's no mercy, all our efforts are useless. Right? We're not so strong that we can chant purely or serve purely. But then Prabhupada shows His mercy, and then we say to ourselves, I don't know how I became a devotee. That was amazing. How did I get out of all of that entanglement? That's mercy. You were ready, you took the mercy did it. So the other thing that we understand from this is that Krishna consciousness sometimes seems difficult to achieve and sometimes can be discouraging. Well, I'm trying and I'm not moving that fast. But the thing to understand is that anyone can achieve it through mercy, and just upgrade your effort. You can't make it happen any other way. So it's not, the basic thing is just get out of the way. Don't be resistant, don't get in the way, and everything will be okay. And if we're resistant or we get in the way of ourselves, yeah, then it's going to move slow. But knowing that it moves by the power of mercy, not by my own power, means that in a sense we should never be discouraged, and in a sense we should never think, I can't do this, because it's not you that's doing it. But you just have to know how to plug in to the mercy. That's the idea. So the other thing that's described in this verse, which is extremely important to understand and to live, is the explanation Prabhupada was giving how Parikshit Maharaj had a taste for Krishna consciousness. And the word taste, ruchi, sometimes the word taste is also defined as love. I have taste for Krishna, I have love for Krishna, because taste can sound like something material, like sense gratification, right? I want to get a taste. Oh, Prabhu, you shouldn't try to enjoy Krishna. But you see, in our scriptures, it always says we should get a taste, try to get a taste. And so it's not that we're trying to enjoy Krishna. We're trying to, this is a subtle point, we're trying to relish Krishna consciousness, because that relish is what awakens our Krishna consciousness. And if we don't relish Krishna consciousness, by nature, we're trying to relish something, isn't it? Aren't you trying to relish something? Maybe today you're going to try to relish the beach, or relish a pizza, or whatever it is you relish. What do you relish? You know? You're going to watch a movie, or a song, or, you know, we're all trying to relish something, right? So, as devotees, one of our main activities is to do things that will enable us to relish Krishna consciousness. That's what we're doing, to churn the ocean of nectar and turn that ocean of nectar into cream, and take the cream and drink it. That's what we're supposed to be doing. And as I said, if we don't do that, we're going to do it anyway with something material. And as we churn that ocean, we become more inspired, more transcendental, more detached, happier, more satisfied. And that's how we become Krishna conscious. We churn the ocean. So what does that mean, churning the ocean? Well, in Nectar of Devotion, there's 64 items of devotional service. They're all churning ocean activities. But of the 64, 5 are considered to have so much power that any one of those 5 can give you love of Krishna. And so specifically, we're trying to churn the ocean of those 5, which is living in a dham, or visiting a dham, or coming to a temple, which is a dham, worshipping the deities, which also means seeing the deities being worshipped, hearing the Bhagavatam, chanting the holy name, and associating with devotees. When the pure devotee hears the Bhagavatam, they become ecstatic. They experience bhav by hearing the Bhagavatam, hearing shlokas and verses. Did you know that? Yeah. They'll hear Bhagavatam, what was it, Raghunath Das? His Bhagavatam was wet because he was crying when he was reading it. You know, and so that's not an ordinary experience for us yet, that we're hearing class and just, wow, that verse is amazing. we have to bring you back to life because you fainted hearing that verse. No, it's not like that. Right? You fainted, because you got bored and you fell asleep. Maybe that's the situation. But we're supposed to be hearing, discussing, relishing, churning the ocean, seeing it from different perspectives, becoming more inspired by what's being said. We're supposed to do the same thing when we associate together. Share realizations, share our heart, relish Krishna consciousness. Prabhu, I was just realizing this, and he said, oh yeah, hey, I think like this, and then we're expressing our realizations. The realizations are becoming more clear. We're getting new realizations. That's churning the ocean, right? We're having kirtan, and the kirtan's building up. It's becoming more ecstatic. Then we decide, I can't sit anymore. I have to stand up, and then we shuffle our toes, and then we start moving our legs, and then pretty soon we're jumping up and down. That's what we're supposed to be doing. That's how we relish kirtan. Prabhupada encouraged dancing. All the time he encouraged us to dance. He said, by dancing you experience more ecstasy. So he was encouraging us, churn the ocean of rasa, churn the ocean of ecstasy. That's the process. That's what keeps you going. If we don't do that, we're going to dry up. And if we dry up, then where's the impetus? And if we don't churn the ocean, where do we get the Guru Kripa? And without Kripa, we're kind of lost. So, chanting the holy name, chanting our japa, it's not meant to be a chore, it's meant to be something we relish, we go deeper into every day, get new realizations and insights. Reading is not meant to be a chore, putting us to sleep, it's meant to give us new insights. Sangha is meant to inspire us to go to the next level. Seeing the deity is meant to inspire us. Coming to the temple, all these things. They're meant to aid the churning of the ocean of ecstasy. That's what it's about. You have this ad. They used to have this ad in America. It was an ad for milk. And it showed a celebrity with milk on their upper lip, like they had just drinking milk and it was on their upper lip. And then it shows them with a glass of milk, milk's on their upper lip, and it says, got milk? A question, got milk? It was a big, big ad campaign because the milk industry was dying. And so they had these billboards everywhere. You have those here? You ever seen those? Yeah, so we can put up billboards all around Australia with happy faces of devotees, and it'll say, got ecstasy? So that's actually what Krishna consciousness is all about. Prabhu, you have ecstasy? What's your ecstatic moment today? What's your ecstatic realization? Have you been churning the ocean? Which ocean have you been churning? The ocean of nectar or the ocean of poison? So in material life, we churn the ocean of poison, right? So this is what Krishna consciousness means. Every day, you study Prabhupada's books, churn the ocean. Chant good rounds, churn the ocean. Get sangha. Worship deities. Chant. So we can stop, and you have any questions or comments?
So when you mentioned like often you might be doing the right things, chanting, reading, service, so if we feel that there is not enough advancement, would you say it's because we have to carry the ego with us without being aware?
That could be one reason. Yeah, that could be many. Could be doing it for the wrong reason. That's one reason. Could be doing it to be known as an advanced devotee. Could be resistant to surrender, like attached. I don't want to give up my own conceptions or my independence. Like here it said that Parikshit Maharaj came and he met Śukadeva Gosvāmī, and then he became his disciple. So becoming a disciple means you're giving up your independent thinking and free will, and you're saying, okay, I will follow the instructions of this person, and I will serve according to their instructions. So that's, for a conditioned soul, that's a big move, to give up that independence, because that's what brought us here, and that's what's keeping us here, and that's what we're holding on to. So yes, I could be serving, but at the same time holding on to a lot of my independence and unwilling to maybe compromise that independence. There could be many things that are holding us back. So therefore we're doing the process, but we're not getting the full benefit of it. And that's unfortunate, because you're putting the time, 2 hours a day if you're chanting 16 rounds, and then not to chant properly. That every day, that's 60 hours a month you put in. But if it's not done well, you'll get some benefit, but it may not even be noticeable. The other thing is that sometimes you are doing everything right and you are advancing, but because we're starting from such a conditioned state and we're attempting to come to such a pure state, we don't notice, it's like, it's so dirty that when it's getting cleaned, it's still dirty. So it's something like that. So we look at ourselves and we say, oh, I'm so dirty, and I've been cleaning myself for so many years and I'm still dirty. Yeah. Well, you started out quite dirty. So you're actually cleaner, but there's so much dirt, it doesn't look like it's cleaner. So you think you're not making advancement. So sometimes that happens. And sometimes that can be due to humility, that you're actually becoming humble. And therefore you're feeling that you're not very Krishna conscious. So it could be also a good sign. It could be real that you're not advancing and there's a cause. Or it could be that you are advancing and you're just advancing in your humility, and therefore you don't think you're advancing. But as to what it is, that you'll have to discover. You'll have to think about it. Am I, ill-motivated in my service? Or am I just committing offenses when I chant? Am I trying to advance myself materially through the process of Krishna consciousness? Am I undisciplined? I don't study because I'm not disciplined to sit and study something. I'm not yet attracted and I can't discipline myself. There could be so many reasons. Why am I resistant? Am I afraid to surrender? Yes?
So, what's the difference between someone who's chanting and is an initiated disciple in the parampara, and someone who's chanting but not an initiated disciple?
Depends on the person. It's not that when you get initiated, automatically everything is going to happen. If we're capable and qualified, we should take initiation, we should make those commitments. But if we're not capable and qualified and we take those vows and don't follow them, then there's no credit or no great benefit. The holy name is powerful, whether initiated or not. So it's going to work. But if we're initiated and following, then with that commitment and that connection, then it'll work more powerfully or more quickly. Not that one can't become completely pure in any condition, because the holy name is transcendental. But the general process is to, at some point, take initiation when one is ready. And that will enhance one's chanting. Just like, in one sense, you can say all the processes of bhakti will enhance your chanting. So if you can do some deity worship, or you can study Bhagavatam more, that your chanting will get better. If you can get more sangha, your chanting will get better. Because the goal is pure chanting. If we do everything well, but our chanting is offensive, that'll be a blemish on our bhakti. But if we chant purely, Shuddha Nam, then that will give us love. And so all these other processes will enhance our chanting, not just initiation, but all these other activities. Of course, you can't worship the deity unless you're initiated. You can worship Gaura-Nitai at home, but further, you should be initiated. So all of this helps. But there's no credit to taking initiation if you're not qualified. It's like kind of like sneaking in the university by.
We can also be not ready to commit, for whatever reason, and then we can say we're not qualified. That's generally what we hear. Oh, no, I'm not qualified.
Well, maybe they should say I'm not committed instead of I'm not qualified. I'm not yet committed. Okay, we should use precise words then. If that's true, I'm not yet committed, then you're not. All right, you should be, but you're not, so work on that. Not qualified. All right, qualification may be the lack of commitment. There's a balance here. Because initiation will help, but there's no need to be initiated and not follow. So you want to bring it up to a point where you're ready. If you're not ready, then it can have a detrimental effect. So there is some wisdom in understanding one's position. At the same time, we should try to be ready if we're serious about Krishna consciousness. Or I guess we could say we should become more serious. Or serious enough that we become ready at some point. Because Prabhupada said, chant 16 rounds and follow the four-begged principles. And serve sincerely, and in one life you can perfect your Krishna consciousness. So if you can perfect your Krishna consciousness in one life, why not try to do it? Why postpone it to another life? Doesn't make any sense, right? Does it? At the end of this life, you can see Krishna, you can go back to Krishna. So why postpone it for another life than you? The interesting thing is that in order to be purified, you have to go through a process and you have to achieve certain levels of Krishna consciousness. And whether you do it in this life or another life, it's the same process. Let's say, you want to go back to school, university, so you have to do certain things to qualify. And so whether you do it now or you apply in 5 years, you still have to, take those exams, prepare for those exams, get a certain grade. So putting it off doesn't make it easier, necessarily. So you can put it off and then take birth again, and then you're confronted with the same realities. Okay, I have to chant 16 rounds, I have to follow the principles, etc. So Prabhupada's mood was, why do it later? You're already ready, you're already here. So you might as well do it, you're here, you've arrived. How do you know in the next life what will happen? You don't know. I was in a lecture and Prabhupada said something quite startling. He said, even if you're a devotee and you don't become perfect, you could take birth in a very wealthy family, because Krishna says that you'll either achieve the higher planets, or if you're more serious, you'll come back in a family of yogis or a wealthy family. So let's say you take birth in a wealthy family, then Prabhupada said, but then you might forget Krishna because of the wealth. So, we think, well, if I don't become purified, I'll just, next life, I'll be born, I'll be in Gurukul in Mayapur or something. Not necessarily. You might be trying to be a movie star in Hollywood, you don't know. Or a rock star, or a model, or, start your own company and, do better than Apple or Google or something. You don't know. But I think we tend to think it's like it's an automatic conveyor belt, so it doesn't really matter in this life if I do it, because it'll just continue in the next life. Yeah. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, you don't know. But one thing we do know is whatever obstacle you have now, you're going to have it in your next life, and you're going to have to overcome it. So why bother getting another body to do the same thing? It doesn't make sense, does it? Oh, it's too hard. Well, I think it's harder to get another body and grow up again and go to school. You want to go to school again and learn everything you already learned in this life? I don't. And how do you know what your parents will be like? There's like 50% chance you'll be in a single parent family, or you'll have a stepfather, or your mother will have a new boyfriend every month. You don't know. Or maybe she'll be a drug addict. It's like, who knows? But now you have it. So that was Prabhupada's point. You have it now, do it now. Yes? Otherwise, no, but I want to stay here and enjoy. Yeah, okay, so you can pay for it and get a new body. That's what it costs to enjoy. That's the price you pay. Another birth. And Prabhupada said, you can see Krishna in this, you will. You will see Krishna in this life. If you take to this process, you will see Krishna in this life, and you will dance with Krishna. And Prabhupada said, just like you're seeing me right now, you will see Krishna. Well, what's better than that? Does it get any better than that? I don't think so. Does it? What could be better than seeing Krishna and dancing with Krishna? I don't know. A house on the sea? No, I don't think so. A job at Google? I don't think so. I don't think there's anything worth resisting Krishna consciousness and surrender. So that's how Prabhupada preached to us. Very urgent. Kind of like, look it, hold on a second, just think about this. You are this close to Krishna right now. You don't have much further to go. You've got, it's basically like Prabhupada saying, I'm here. Problem solved, I'm here. I can take you back to Godhead. Don't be stupid. Just do it. That's basically what Prabhupada was telling us. Everything's here. Mahaprabhu's mercy is here. You don't have to do a million rituals and chant a million mantras. It's so simple. You're so close and it's so simple. If you don't do it, you are basically stupid. I mean, he didn't say that, but that was kind of the message that we got. Yeah, this would be stupid not to do it. Right? So, if I'm not ready for initiation, then I should become ready at some point. Don't do it before you're ready, but you should become ready, because why not go back to Godhead now? And then the other heavy thing that Prabhupada used to speak about is when he spoke about Maharaj Parikshit, he would speak about the 7 days to live, and he would say, you don't know if you have 7 moments. And we were like 20 years old, 22 years old, and he's telling us, you don't even know you have 7 moments. And it's true. You don't know what kind of accident could happen. Of course, it's assumed we would live, 65, 75, 85, something like that, but you don't know. So he would make that point. And we heard that again and again and again in Prabhupada's lectures. We just kept hearing that, You don't know how long you're going to live. Go back to Godhead in this life. Be serious. Do it. Right? Hear it again and again and again. And that's what kept us going. Because the material intelligence just wants to sit back and relax and do nothing. Who wants to do austerity? That you don't, voluntary. Well, you have to do austerity, you go to work, etc. But voluntary austerity, that's like a new thing, isn't it? Hey, Prabhu, let's go to the beach, at 2 a.m. in the middle of the winter and go swimming. That'll be a good austerity. No. Nobody thinks like that. I mean, maybe a few people, but there's some benefit. Oh, it will be healthy if we do it or something. But just, to undergo inconvenience, not normal. But that inconvenience can give you Krishna, so it's worth it. Sometimes people say, well, Mahatma Prabhu, you've been a devotee a long time. How do you do it? And I say, what else is there to do? Well, just compare it, Here's a new Apple MacBook Pro, and here's a $300 Dell, plastic computer with like 4 gigs of RAM and a processor that's 10 years old. Is there any comparison? Why would you want the Dell? So it's like that. If I don't buy the apple, what am I? All they have in the store is the apple or the Dell. Of course I'll buy the apple. I don't even know how to use an apple, but I'm not going to buy this cheap Dell that's going to slow and break down. I'll buy the apple, I'll learn. So it's like that. What else are you going to do? Then the other thing that Prabhupada taught is that whatever you're going to do outside of Krishna consciousness, you've already done in so many lifetimes in the past. It's nothing new. It's not that eating, sleeping, and mating, defending is new. It's new, I can do it in a new house or a new restaurant or with a new partner. And Prabhupada would say, no, you've done this hundreds, thousands, millions of times. So, why don't you do something different? Krishna consciousness is different. Yeah, why don't you do something different, like giving up all those things you've done for millions of lifetimes to get Krishna? So these were the things that we were hearing constantly from Prabhupada that were just pushing us. I've done it a million times. I can get Krishna in this life. Don't be a fool. Don't come back again. It's going to get worse. You're going to have to still go through the same process. So we said, okay, sounds good. Let's do it. Let's get it over with. Okay. Let's do it. Give me my bead bag. Put me in, give me some books. I'll go out and sell them. Let's do it. In this life, let's finish it. So Prabhupada would say, finish your business in this life. Let's say that all the time. That was the mood. Finish your business in this life. That was his mood. So that was a long answer to that question. Should I get initiated? Yes and no. You should, but not until you're ready. And you should get ready soon, because you don't know if you have 7 moments to live. And then Prabhupada would say, be fully prepared for going back home, back to Godhead. Prepare yourself. You're an astronaut. Get prepared. You're going back. Get on. You have to know how to control the dials and run that spaceship. Be prepared. Go back home, back to Godhead. So, are you ready? Are you prepared? That story. You've probably heard this story. It's so interesting. Narada Muni asked Lord Vishnu, why don't you liberate everyone? And Lord Vishnu says, well, I would, but they don't want to go. They'd rather stay here. And Narada Muni says, I can't believe that. Well, Krishna says, I can prove it. I'll give you the blessing that anyone who will receive it from you can go back to Godhead. Just tell them Vishnu is offering you free one-way ticket back to Vaikuntha. And so choose someone to offer it. And he finds a devotee and offers it to the devotee. And the devotee says, okay, but my daughter's getting married, so, can I wait till after the marriage? To make a long story short, it went through his whole life. But can you just wait for this? But can you wait for that? So we have to ask ourselves, are we also in the same position? That Krishna's calling us and we say, well, could we just wait a little longer because, I could get this new job soon. And that will offer many opportunities for me. And I could buy that new house if I get the new job. So could you come like maybe 10 years after I get the new house? Yeah, so that's how we think. And that's our disease, right? As we're so conditioned by this world that this is our home, that we think the spiritual world is a foreign land. This is the foreign land. We are in foreign soil right now. We don't belong here. We have to switch it. That's our home. This is not our home. This is foreign land. We left that home. That's when Krishna's waiting for us. Right now, Krishna's waiting for you. Did you know that? And Krishna's looking at you and thinking, when is this fool going to get it through his thick skull that he'll only be happy in Krishna consciousness? And when is this fool going to get it through his thick skull that I'm waiting and I'm offering a relationship, and no relationship that he could have or she could have will come close to what I'm offering? When are they going to get it through their thick skull? I'm waiting. These are my sons and daughters. I'm waiting for them. I miss them. I want them to come back. And we're thinking, I have to think about it. It's so hard. Sometimes I feel like I just need a stick and bang everyone in the head. Okay, did everything like kind of settle properly so you can like understand the philosophy now? Because it's really simple. Krishna just wants you, and you know, let's do it. He's waiting for us. Let's not, you know, mess around. And he's waiting for us to bring people also with us. You know, so it's not only us. Go out and give what you have to other people. Bring them. We'll have a big party back there. Bring them all. Krishna will be happy. So it goes way beyond us. Right? Yes? Is that okay? Yes?
So if you're looking to take initiation and you feel, I guess, inspired by more than one initiating group, how do you? I've heard that it comes automatically and you'll get there, but
well,
I don't know about that.
I never had that option of more than one, so I can't speak from experience. But one thing we can say is that, one thing I would say that's wrong, let's say you're inspired by many and you're listening to many and you see them all as guru. That when you finally choose one, don't abandon the others. They're your Siksha gurus. You know, so you keep that relationship. Sometimes someone's aspiring for someone and they say, and then they meet another devotee and they think, well, actually, I'm more attracted to this other devotee, and they kind of dump the former one. The Shastra says you can have as many Siksha gurus as you want. You know, obviously only one Diksha guru, because you're only initiated once, so they're not all going to initiate you. And the main aspect of Diksha is Siksha, is the instruction, the ongoing instruction. So when you're getting ongoing instruction from someone who's not your Siksha guru, it establishes a very deep relationship, because it's the Siksha that's the main thing that's guiding you back to Godhead. So at least I would say that there's no harm, or it's even recommended that you have many Siksha gurus helping you and guiding you. As far as choosing a Diksha guru, it's important that you have faith in that person. It's important that you feel inspired by that person. It's important that you feel naturally attracted to surrender to that person. That being connected with that person makes you want to be Krishna conscious. It makes it easier for you. So that's like I was saying earlier, when you have a guru, you have to give up independence, because the guru is going to say, do this and don't do that. And so you have to be able to listen to that person, to hear, to have enough faith in that person that when he says something that maybe is counterintuitive, you can follow it. And you can say, yeah, I can do this because my Guru Maharaj said so. And you know, you when you hear from that person or you think of that person, you just feel like, I just want to serve this person. I want to give myself to this person. That's important. But there's also another aspect, which is all the gurus are good. So anyone you choose is good. Will get you back to Godhead. I mean, you may choose one, but you'll never have any. You'll never even see them. Some devotees never saw Prabhupada. You may choose a guru. Maybe he doesn't come to Australia. Maybe you never leave Australia. And you'll have Siksha gurus in Australia that you're very close to, you are as close to as your own Diksha guru. So these are things to consider. You know, how inspired you are. Will I see him? Does that matter? Will he ever answer an email? If not, does that matter? Is it important? You know, these things also. Because you may be very inspired by someone, but you feel you need more personal guidance and they can't give it to you. They have too many disciples. So that may be a need. It may not be a need. If it's not a need and you're inspired by the person, it's not a consideration. If it is a need and you're inspired by the person, that's something to consider. I'll never... You say, but I have a Siksha guru in Australia that I can get, guidance from. And then, well, if I'm getting guidance from that person, then why not that person be my Diksha guru? Or, no, but this Diksha guru inspires me more, so it's like you have to consider all these things. But whatever, and if if down the road you meet somebody that inspires you, you can also take guidance from them. And sometimes the relationship becomes as thick, as powerful as with your own Diksha Guru, sometimes even more so. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur said something that I find very interesting, and I don't see many devotees talking about it, but it's something that I've noticed. Traditionally, and we can't do this, traditionally in the Guru system, the Gurus had ashrams. So you could go to the ashram and you could live there. And it's actually said you should live for a year to see if he's your Guru, and the Guru should see you to see if you're his disciple or qualified. But one thing Bhaktivinoda Thakur said was quite interesting. He said to see if it's compatible. Because, let's say your Guru is very, very heavy. When he gives class, he screams, and he's just like, every disciple who wasn't at Mangal Artik, he's like on their case. You aren't at Mangal Artik. You're a dog if you don't come to Mangal. Like, what's wrong with you? And it's like, oh, wow. And you might think, that's just what I need. Because I'm such a fool and I'm so lazy. I need a Guru just every day, smash me. I need to hear lectures that are like heavy because I'm dense. Or maybe it's the opposite. You say, like if I had a Guru like that, I would probably commit suicide. If he was telling me I'm stupid and I'm a rascal and this and that. I need someone who's, less chastising, more encouraging, understands me more and more patient. So he said, compatibility. So that's interesting. Am I compatible? There may be so many aspects of compatibility. So something to think about. Raise your hand if you like to be chastised. Okay, you need the chastising Guru. Raise your hand if you like to be encouraged. You need the encouraging Guru. Well, some of you need both. The chastiser that encourages. It's a duty of the Guru to chastise. But some will be heavier than others. Prabhupada said, my spiritual master was 90% strict, and I am 90% lenient. Both because Prabhupada's nature and because we would all run away if Prabhupada was too strict. We wouldn't be able to follow. So both things are there. Is that okay? And, there's no rush if you're not certain, because I have seen devotees who weren't certain and they accepted Diksha and then later they had second thoughts. So that's not so, it's not ideal. I mean, you can manage it, but it's not ideal. Their devotees said, well, if I waited, I think I would have taken from so-and-so. Or they meet so-and-so and say, well, if I would have known, I would have taken from you. It's not a problem because that they can be their 6-year Guru, but it's, just make sure, you can surrender, at least a little bit. Anything else? Yes?
We're given the holy name, and I have always struggled to understand the significance of Gayatri, because I sort of feel like there's nothing better than the holy name.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good point. There's an example. Well, it's kind of like you could say in the same way, of the holy name's everything, why do I need deity worship? Or why do I need Bhagavatam? Or why do I need anything? So Prabhupada explained that the holy name is everything. The holy name can give you Krishna. But for the holy name to give you Krishna, you have to chant it purely. And so worshipping the deities, becoming a Brahmin, will enhance. It'll help you in your chanting. But it's not, in and of itself, it won't bring you to the highest level of prema. The holy name will. But that becoming a Brahmin chanting Gayatri will enhance, will purify you more, so your chanting is more pure. So it's helpful. It's a samskar which is helpful. So anything which is helpful, might as well do it. And it's meditation on the Guru, on Lord Chaitanya, on Govinda, on Krishna with the gopis. That always helps. So it's something Prabhupada offered. So we took it. help us. Everything's meant to help our chanting. So that's it, you know. If you can chant purely, you're good. And anything that will help it, take it. If it's being offered, you know, why not? Or like, let's say Saki Roy says, oh, we're booking a private jet to Mayapur for Nrsimha Chaturdasi, and we're going to take 20 devotees, and you only have to pay $300. Like, wow, okay, that's a deal. And, you know, that would be amazing to be in Mayapur for that. So I'll go. You know, it's like, why not? You know, just, you know, we're going to leave Friday afternoon and we'll be back Monday morning. You don't even have to, you know, miss work. Just get off at work at 2 hours earlier and, you know, come in 2 hours late and you go, well, that's easy, that's doable. So it's something like that. Why not? If I can do it, if I can afford it, if I have the time, why not do it? It'll help. So it's like that. Anything that will help, do it. And it'll all help your chanting. So the example was given, you have a circle inside another circle. And the outer circle is compared to the holy name, the inner circle is Gayatri. And the outer circle goes lower than the inner circle. And it goes higher than the inner circle. So the lower means that anybody can chant Hare Krishna. The lowest, they don't have to be purified. But Gayatri, you have to be Sattva-guna before you're given Gayatri. And then Gayatri will take you not all the way as far as the holy name will take you. So the holy name goes lower and it goes higher. And the inner circle starts higher and doesn't go as high, but it helps you. So that's one way to look at it. Is that okay? Yeah. Anything else? Krishna Bhavana, are the deities happy? You have to know. Did I ask you last time? You have to know. That was the question that Prabhupada would ask. Are the deities happy? Are they getting fat? You have before and after pictures, like 10 years ago or something?
Yeah.
They're gaining weight? You know, sometimes deities, they look like they're gaining weight, but it would be interesting to actually weigh them, wouldn't it? I just heard an amazing story this morning. To make a long story short, a man was in he was a devotee, and he had, he prayed to Banka Bihari to help him. He had a court case, and he needed a witness, because this guy was trying to cheat him. And he didn't have any documents to prove that he's being cheated. So he prayed to Banka Bihari. And he had faith. He said, Banka Bihari, become my witness. And they called in court for Mr. Banka Bihari to come, and this effulgent person came and testified and said, this is where all the documents are, and nobody could know where all the documents are unless they're God. And he testified, and the person won the case, and in the middle of the testimony, after he made his testimony, it just disappeared. So anything's possible. So maybe we can weigh them in 10 years and see. If they weigh more or less or the same, that would be interesting, right? Okay? Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Go Premanandi. Hari Hari.
Mahatma Prabhu ki jai.